Welcome to History with Herodotus, where the boundaries of time and space converge and the tapestry of human experience is woven into a rich narrative. Today we embark on a fascinating journey through the annals of history as we explore the rise of one of the most influential families in European history, the Medici family. Like a master artisan crafting a magnificent work of art, the Medici would weave their way into the fabric of society, politics, and culture, leaving an indelible mark on the world. In the early 12th century, the city of Florence, nestled in the heart of Italy, was a bustling hub of commerce and trade. The Arno River, which flowed gently through the city, was the lifeblood of Florence, providing a conduit for merchants and artisans to ply their wares. It was here, amidst this vibrant backdrop, that the Medici family would emerge, their humble beginnings masking the greatness that was to come. The earliest recorded ancestor of the Medici family was Averardo de' Medici, a modest knight who lived in the 12th century. Averardo's descendants would go on to become bankers and merchants, leveraging their financial acumen to build a lucrative business empire. One such descendant, Salvestro de' Medici, would play a pivotal role in shaping the family's fortunes. In the late 13th century, Salvestro became a prominent figure in Florentine politics, serving as the gonfaloniere, or standard-bearer, of the city. As we delve deeper into the history of the Medici family, we find ourselves in the midst of a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The city of Florence was divided into two main factions, the Guelphs, who supported the papacy, and the Ghibellines, who backed the Holy Roman Emperor. The Medici family, with their banking interests and commercial ties, would navigate this treacherous landscape with caution, forging alliances and making strategic decisions that would ultimately propel them to greatness. In the early 14th century, the Medici family's fortunes began to rise with the emergence of Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici. A shrewd businessman and banker, Giovanni would establish the Medici Bank, which would become one of the most powerful financial institutions in Europe. His son, Cosimo de' Medici, would go on to play a pivotal role in shaping the family's destiny, leveraging his wealth and influence to become one of the most powerful men in Florence. As Cosimo de' Medici's influence grew, so did his reputation as a shrewd politician and banker. In 1434, he was exiled from Florence by the Albizzi family, who had long been rivals of the Medici. However, this exile would prove to be a blessing in disguise, as Cosimo used his time away from Florence to strengthen his alliances with other powerful families and to amass an even greater fortune. He returned to Florence in 1434, and by 1437 he had become the dominant force in Florentine politics. One of the most significant events in the rise of the Medici family was the Council of Florence, which took place in 1439. This council, convened by Pope Eugene IV, brought together representatives from the Eastern and Western churches in an attempt to reunify them. Cosimo de' Medici played a crucial role in the council, using his wealth and influence to facilitate the negotiations. The council ultimately failed to achieve its goal of reunification, but it did serve to further establish Cosimo's reputation as a powerful and influential figure. The 15th century was a time of great cultural and artistic flourishing in Florence, and the Medici family was at the forefront of this movement. Cosimo's grandson, Lorenzo de' Medici, also known as Lorenzo the Magnificent, would become one of the most important patrons of the arts in history. He surrounded himself with some of the most brilliant minds of the time, including artists such as Botticelli and Michelangelo, and writers such as Poliziano and Pico della Mirandola. In 1469, Lorenzo de' Medici married Clarice Orsini, a member of a powerful Roman family. This marriage helped to strengthen the Medici family's ties with the papacy and further solidified their position as one of the most influential families in Italy. However, it also created tension with other powerful families who resented the Medici's growing power and influence. The Pazzi conspiracy of 1478 was a significant turning point in the history of the Medici family. A group of conspirators, led by the Pazzi family, attempted to overthrow Lorenzo de' Medici and his brother Giuliano. The conspiracy ultimately failed, but not before Giuliano was assassinated in the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. Lorenzo, however, managed to escape with his life, and he went on to rule Florence with an even tighter grip than before. As Lorenzo's power grew, so did his reputation as a wise and just ruler. He was known for his intelligence, his wit, and his love of the arts. In 1489 he wrote, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little," a phrase that reflects his commitment to simplicity and moderation, even in the face of great wealth and power. Despite his many accomplishments, Lorenzo's later years were marked by turmoil and conflict. The rise of Girolamo Savonarola, a Dominican friar who preached against the corruption and excess of the Medici family, created tension and division within Florence. In 1492, Lorenzo died, and his son Piero de' Medici succeeded him as ruler of Florence. However, Piero's reign was short-lived, and he was eventually overthrown by the French king Charles VIII in 1494. As the French king Charles VIII overthrew Piero de' Medici in 1494, it marked a significant turning point in the history of the Medici family. The once powerful and influential family was now facing a period of decline and instability. However, this did not mean that their legacy was forgotten. In fact, the Medici family continued to play an important role in Italian politics and culture for centuries to come. One of the most significant later events in the history of the Medici family was the rise of Cosimo I de' Medici, who became the Duke of Florence in 1537. He was a skilled politician and military leader who helped to establish the Medici family as a major power in Italy once again. Under his rule, Florence experienced a period of significant cultural and economic growth, and the city became a center of learning and art. As the centuries passed, the Medici family continued to produce notable figures who made important contributions to Italian society. For example, Catherine de' Medici, who married King Henry II of France in 1547, played a significant role in shaping French politics and culture during her time as queen. Her son, Charles IX, went on to become King of France, and her daughter, Margaret of Valois, married Henry of Navarre, who later became King Henry IV of France. The Medici family's legacy can be seen in the many artistic and cultural treasures that they left behind. The Uffizi Gallery in Florence, which was built by the Medici family in the 16th century, is one of the oldest and most famous art museums in Europe. It houses an impressive collection of Renaissance art, including works by Botticelli, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci. As the historian Christopher Hibbert once noted, the Medici were the greatest family of patrons the world has ever known. Their legacy continues to inspire and influence people around the world today. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.